Most analog horror is fake. I know because I get paid to watch it before the public ever sees it. Usually, it's exactly what you'd expect. VHS static emergency broadcasts. A tall monster standing at the end of the hallway while somebody plays a tornado siren in the background. But every few thousand uploads, we find one that isn't pretending. And that's why my department has 7 rules. I work for Northline Media Compliance, a contractor in a windowless building near Fort Worth, Texas. We handle videos flagged before they went public. At least, that's what Northline claimed. My department only reviewed analog horror. The system held each upload in what we called the zero view queue until one of us approved it or buried it. The money was $32 an hour with a night shift differential. Enough to make a man tolerate a surprising amount of corporate bullshit. I sat alone in review booth 6 from 10 at night until 6 in the morning. My computer had no camera, microphone, or browser. A red isolation switch under the monitor looked like something meant to stop a nuclear reactor instead of a shitty horror video. The 7 rules were printed on a laminated card beside it. First, confirm the public view counter reads 0. If it doesn't, leave the booth without opening the file. Second, never enlarge the review player. The gray border around the footage must remain visible. Third, once playback starts, never pause, rewind, or skip. Fourth, write down the original runtime. If it changes, stop playback at the original ending because anything afterward is live. Fifth, if the booth appears on screen, keep facing the monitor and ignore every sound behind you. Sixth, if the recording says your real name, do not answer. And the 7th, if the subject touches the camera, pull the isolation switch before the picture turns black and remain seated until retrieval arrives. Nobody ever explained who retrieval was. I assumed it was an aggressively stupid name for security. 5 months passed before I received a file that triggered so much as one rule. It entered my queue at 2:17 on a Thursday morning with no channel name and no upload location. The title was Review Booth 6, Final. Its thumbnail showed my empty desk from somewhere near the ceiling. I checked the view counter, 0. The runtime was 8 minutes and 4 seconds. I wrote 8:04 on the review sheet, then called my supervisor, Denise, in the control room down the hall. I think I have one, I told her. There was a long pause, long enough for me to hear her keyboard clicking. Then she said, "Follow the card. Do not leave your station." No questions. No joke about me finally earning my night differential. Her voice sounded like she had been expecting that file all week. I pressed play. The video opened on the Northline building beneath a bleached blue sky. The image rolled like an old tape while cheerful synthesizer music played beneath layers of hiss. Text appeared. Northline Employee Orientation, 1991. The building wasn't constructed until 2007. A man in a black suit stepped into frame. He was tall enough that the top of his head had been cut off, although the camera had plenty of empty space above everyone else. His face was washed into a pale blur. He held one hand against his stomach and pointed toward the entrance with the other. "Every signal requires a destination," he said. "Thank you for providing one." The footage cut to inside the building. He walked through our lobby, past our security desk, and down the hall toward the review booths. Everything looked exactly right, except for the framed employee photographs on the wall. The people in the photos were facing backward. At 3 minutes, the presenter stopped outside booth 6. "Nathan Cole has maintained visual contact," he said. Hearing my full name come from a video without an uploader tightened my throat. I wanted to ask Denise what the fuck was happening, but Rule 6 sat inches from my hand, so I kept my mouth shut. The presenter opened the booth door on screen. The camera followed him inside, and there I was, sitting at the desk with my headphones on. I could see the pen in my hand and the fresh ink where I had written 8:04. The runtime changed. 8 minutes and 4 seconds became 11 minutes and 37. Something scraped across the carpet behind me. My shoulders locked and the sound came again, slow and heavy, stopping directly behind my chair. On screen, the presenter stood over the other version of me. His knees almost touched the backrest. His pale face tilted down toward the top of my head. The desk phone lit up. Denise appeared on the display. I didn't reach for it. The phone rang once, twice, and then stopped. Then Denise's voice came through my headphones instead. "Nathan, the card is outdated. You need to turn around and confirm whether the booth has been breached." The presenter moved his mouth with every word she said. That cured me of any temptation to listen. The video cut to another reviewer sitting in booth 3. I recognized him as the man who had trained me, although Denise said he quit 2 weeks before I started. He was crying. The red isolation switch beneath his monitor had been pulled, and the door booth was sealed behind him. A digital counter on the wall climbed from 0 to 1. Men wearing gray protective suits entered several minutes later. They didn't rescue him. They fastened a black hood over his head, strapped him to the chair, and wheeled him away, while something inside the hood pushed outward. The cheerful training music returned. "One viewer," the presenter explained. "One destination. One successful containment." The real intercom above my door clicked on. This time, it was actually Denise, and she was crying. "I'm sorry," she said. "Those rules keep it from spreading. When it reaches the camera, pull the switch. Retrieval will be in there less than 5 minutes. "And then what?" I asked before remembering Rule 6. The thing behind me inhaled. It was wet, eager, and close enough that cold air moved across my hair. On screen, the presenter smiled. His face split vertically through the middle, not like flesh tearing, but like two damaged frames sliding apart. Darkness filled the space between them. Denise screamed at me to pull the switch. The timer reached 7 minutes and 40 seconds. The presenter leaned toward the camera. Behind the playback window, two choices appeared on my review system. Quarantine would trigger isolation and seal the booth. Approve would release the video and unlock my door. I wish I could tell you I spent those last 24 seconds thinking about everyone who might see it. I didn't. I thought about the man in booth 3, the black hood moving as they wheeled him away, and whatever was breathing behind me. The presenter placed one pale hand against the lens. The picture began turning black beneath his fingers. At 8 minutes and 3 seconds, I clicked approve. The booth door unlocked with a heavy metallic snap. The public view counter changed from 0 to 1, then 3, then 8. Each time it increased, the pressure behind my chair weakened. The presenter flickered between different rooms, different desks, and different people staring into their phones. Whatever it was, it had more destinations now. And I ran. Denise was standing outside the control room when I reached the hall. She tried to grab me, but the lights went out before she made it 3 steps. Every monitor behind her turned on at once. Pale hands pressed against the other sides of the screens, and Denise stopped long enough to look. I didn't. I hit the fire exit hard enough to bruise my shoulder and kept running until the building disappeared behind the warehouses. Northline called me 14 times before sunrise, and by noon, the number was disconnected. When I returned with 2 police officers that afternoon, the suite was empty. The landlord said Northline had terminated its lease at 6:30 that morning. Moving trucks had stripped the place before lunch. The video is still online. I won't tell you the name of the channel, and I sure as hell won't link it. The thumbnail shows a man sitting in front of an old monitor. There's something standing behind him, but you can only see it if you make the image larger. At 4:12 this morning, it had 46 views. If you find it, don't make it 47.